All right. This is Content Crisis. I am Tyler.
I'm Jason.
And this is VHS we're looking at today. Horror movie from 2012.
This is a good year. That was the year I think the world ended, if I remember right.
That's what I heard, yeah. Turn my laptop so you don't cheat. Rotten Tomatoes, let's talk about the public reception using the what would you say the tomato meter said about this movie from the the critics, the official critics?
Critics have got to have it like around the halfway point. I'm going to go flat 50.
Close, 56. 56. And what would you say the audience says about this movie?
Me as an audience, I liked it more than 56%.
Sure.
So I would say like 65.
41.
Really?
Yeah.
Shame.
It's unfortunate. I imagine these are going to be all bad. 5 good right off the bat.
Yeah, 4 of those for
fun.
me.
Smart, scary stuff. That's all that one says.
I wasn't very creative on that one.
Spectacular hits and forgivable misses make this a surefire candidate for cult status. Okay. Several of the shorts build ingeniously, and their brevity solves the serial problem of found footage, which is how to maintain interest and plausibility in shaky cam antics for a whole feature.
Yep.
Like last year's Chronicle. Remember that movie? That
Yep.
wasn't too bad.
I like that.
I haven't watched it since, so it might be terrible and I just remember it as good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I do that all the time where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good movie, and then I watch it and I'm like, whoa, hi.
Yeah. Imagine doing that, but like you never back down. Like
Yeah,
there's
you
movies
just
I'll
keep
see it and
it.
be like, nope, still like it.
Still.
Everyone hates it now. It's fine.
Still great, don't care. Like last year's Chronicle, here's another reminder that in the right hands, found footage still has plenty of capacity to surprise. All right, now for some bad. I came, I saw, I hunkered. That doesn't even seem that bad. It just has 1 star. For all its tension and shock value, the experience is uneven. Fair. Icky stuff that doesn't deserve a pass just because the awful men in it get what's coming to them. I think that's the ultimate pass on people doing bad stuff, is that they get what's coming to them, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's justice.
Yeah. There are, as you can see, worthwhile elements to VHS. Sadly, they don't show up until the end. The last skit was my least favorite, to be honest with you.
Really?
Anyway. Like so many anthology movies, individual pieces shine, but others sink the ship, and the connective framework overstays its welcome and becomes tedious. Fair. All right. So, if we go into your likes, dislikes.
Let me preface this.
Uh-huh.
I love this movie. I love
right, loves, disloves.
the overall structure. I love the anthology type thing. I love just, a core narrative and then excuses to kind of dip in these other stories.
Yeah.
Love the shit out of that idea. Something that always worked for me. Pretty sure I saw this movie like roughly around the time it came out. And I probably just still have that nostalgia love for it.
You'd
ever
probably like
since then.
Mr. Show. It's a comedy sketch show.
Yeah.
But it does it like
kind of like
the
that.
reasons to like lead into other shit. So anyway.
All right. Probably, because I do like shit that kind of flows that way. But yeah, I really love the presentation of it. I love all these kind of individual stories. Some are definitely weaker than the others.
Sure.
But I'm just a really big fan of just this layout of telling a story and kind of housing all these different short ones. Dislikes is the obvious stuff. Some of them, the pacing still sucks. Even though you have these shorter stories, sometimes they still just carry on too long before anything that you care about happens. That is kind of just par for the course for found footage type movies, because you're watching just the normal stuff you would have videotaped. That's not maybe meaningful in any way.
Right.
You stumble upon the cool, weird shit. So it makes sense, but it's still, if you're the one making the movie, you can fix that. And at least in like that second one, for sure, where it was the road trip one, that just took forever for anything to matter, and then it was just kind of wrapped up.
And it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I had.
Yeah. I said it was kind of like a horror movie sketch show, honestly. Like, someone had enough ideas to make a bunch of horror movies, but didn't have the time or the money, right? So they're just like, let's just do this one.
I would watch that, though. Like, if there was like a season long of just like a bunch of like short, like 5-minute horror movie kind of things, I would be so about it.
Maybe we'll write that one down. um, every concept for every video weirder than the last. That's a great, like, it's a good concept. My dislikes. I'm unsure. Like, I wouldn't even say these are dislikes. It's just that thing I have with, wanting everything to kind of exist within certain parameters as far as, like, what are the rules, man? What is this anyway? What's the point? Just because, so I'm of the belief, like, if a horror movie should have, like, the one exception to, like, reality, right? Because we want to keep it as scary as possible. So, like, there's just this one exception to this world.
Yeah.
Right? This world is ours except for...
We don't need 8 James
this.
Bond subplots to staple a horror movie together.
Right. And, like, so as we were just talking about, we did The Shining. Granted, it comes out after this, but whatever. But it's like, hey, there's the rule for this movie is, like, just supernatural stuff's a thing, right? So we don't really need to wonder.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, this is this.
There's some level of supernatural shit somewhere, and it's fucked up.
Right. So, like, so in this movie, it's like, so we're just accepting, like, okay, so there are zombies, there are succubuses, there are digitized killers in the woods. We're immediately just cool with, like, alien children growing in the backs of women, and we track them for some reason.
Yep.
We're gonna dive real heavy into that one. There's just a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, to where you have to
like,
accept that as reality to be like, okay, cool.
Which is why I was kind of thinking of it like that, like, here's a sketch for a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like,
because if these
here's
are all
an idea.
in the same universe, then it's like, wow, everything has
just
happened to this universe.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess if that's the rule, cool, I guess. I don't know, but it's a lot.
Now, what if this is like multiversal VHS tapes, So it's like...
Also, yeah, could work. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so but like what I didn't like, I I didn't have a ton. Like, I think it's a fun time. I think a little sample size. It's like a horror movie sliders.
Yeah.
It's not a whole burger, just sliders, Try one, see what you think. I don't know. All right. So moving to our bad section. My bad summary, predictably, is horror sketch show. So, what do you got?
I did some for all the short ones. So for the house, like the overarching one, old man defends his home from would-be thieves.
Sure.
Classic. Succubus one, insecurity leads to a failed threesome.
Yep.
Road trip, girl follows advice of fortune telling too closely. The glitch leg, teen tries to figure out how to have a successful beach trip, fails twice.
Yeah.
The Skype and Aliens one, cam girl has a baby. And then the Exorcist house is just the quotes, "You came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker."
Yeah. What do you got for trailer?
For the trailer, I really wanted to frame this because there was so much nudity throughout this. It's just like you frame it as just a girls gone wild kind of spectacle. So it's just all the scenes where somebody's getting naked or making out, or like the scenes in the like house sequence.
Yeah.
That was recorded over to where that dude was trying to bang the chick and then she found the camera. It's like all this stuff can just be like a weird girls gone wild anthology thing.
Yeah. What'd you have for trailer?
Let's see. Oh no, that's the trailer. It's the girls gone wild.
Oh, would you have summary? I did my summary first. My bad. Okay, I'll do my trailer then.
Yeah.
Because I did my summary. I messed up the order.
It's fine.
That's my bad. To make it look like a movie about old family tapes found in the basement. And you just leave out the actual scary stuff, right? So, like, here's that time by the lake when we smoked weed, and then just cut it there. Here's that time mom and dad were in a long-distance relationship video chatting, and just, like, cut it there. Here's when Kyle was in a rebellious phase, breaking things and forcefully getting people to expose themselves on video.
Good times. We were young.
Yeah. All right. So wait, did you do summary and trailer in one, or was it just the trailer you did?
I did summary and trailer. Summary
Okay.
was all the... Yeah.
All right. So my bad casting was I just chose 2 for the main cast of like the kids exploring the house, because if we recast this whole thing, we'll be here for a day.
Grand scheme of things, there's no actual characters
Right.
throughout any of this. Nobody matters.
But I just thought, to kind of add like a what the fuck value for the group of dudes that like make women expose themselves, we'll just put Gary as like Brad Pitt to just be like, what are you doing here? And then if the girl who
unlikely star appearance,
and then if the girl that was like being forced to expose herself, we just make her Margot Robbie, and then just
classic,
just move on. What'd you got?
So I had Kristen Stewart as the succubus for the first one, just because that would just be the dullest thing ever.
Yeah.
I wanted Nicolas Cage in the road trip one, because I wanted him to be like this really like erratic character instead of being like kind of passive to the girlfriend about like losing the money and like what they were doing. I wanted him to be just kind of like this high energy erratic asshole to her.
Yeah.
So then he actually had a reason to get stabbed to death at the end.
Yeah.
Because he was just kind of passive. For the glitchy lake one, I wanted it to be Chucky, so it's the same exact setup, but the glitch is just way shorter to the ground.
Yeah.
For the Skype and Alien one, I wanted Kat Dennings just as the girl with big boobs and to be really sarcastic on the webcam.
And you kind of want to see her boobs.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Huge.
More or less, that's it.
Any
That's
reason.
that's about the size of it.
If you don't think I pulled up a list of the 30 biggest hit actresses and picked Kat out of that list, then you're wrong.
Yeah, I know, I got it. All right, let's dive into a little bit of these. So what do you think of let's talk about just the group of kids that, they say they're having a job. They get like $50 when they give them these reality porn videos.
Yeah.
Which is not reality porn. Reality porn is like you filmed somebody in the their across the street bedroom or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Like
not
you found-
rape.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Yeah, more or less, that's kind of just rape. Yeah. So like that's a weird concept, but like, what the fuck do these guys do? Like, they're all adults. Like, are these the kind of dudes that all have like, like some
These are like
shitty
6
day
guys
job?
who sleep in like a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah,
Kind of
okay.
thing, like
Like they're like, we need that $50 every time we make a video.
yeah,
'cause
they reconvene like every day at noon to discuss finances and where the money's going to go that day. They're like, we really want to get high today. We've got 3 votes towards getting weed today.
we stole $10.
It's got to be that. Like, these have just got to be like guys on the most bottom rung just trying to make it.
Right. Yeah, like, just are they all just career criminals, or do you think some of them have like, a job they hate?
Oh, one of
Like,
those guys, whoever's doing the best works at Wendy's.
He's the one. He's the
And
one.
he gets about 14 hours a week.
He calls off all the time. He's the one everybody like rolls their eyes at, because everybody's like, oh, you got your job.
Yeah, you think you're better than us?
He's like,
You
no,
can go fuck yourself.
No, I called. It's Wendy's, dipshit. It's not McDonald's. Why don't you go fuck yourself? But anyway, I called off today because fuck that place.
Still gonna go in tomorrow though.
I'm gonna go in tomorrow. Yeah, no, I mean, somebody's got to pay the bills around here. You fucking bums.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. Say something. Say something. Anyway, like, that's just the most interesting, yet disappointing group of fellas ever.
It's tragic, really.
And yeah, not a lot to say on those guys. Although, when we get to the house, we all right. What do we think the backstory is with the old man in the room with the TVs, and
Well,
why is he there watching the TVs?
so
Why doesn't he just watch one tape at a time? Why does he have so many TVs?
So we see at one later on in the story, he's coming down the stairs and like his face is all fucked up.
Yeah,
Like, he's some kind of either dead, revived, like ghost spirits. So he's having his own VHS tape worthy shit going on to him, right?
sure.
What I think is that the some of the bullshit from the VHS tapes is transferable. So that's why everyone keeps like disappearing and like, shit's happening to them. Because if you experience the VHS tape, it's like you're opening the door to, the supernatural shit or whatever.
Oh yeah, there's that one that's called like Viral or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I didn't watch any more. I wanted to try to get through them, but then they were all the only one free on Amazon was this one.
Yeah. I was thinking
So I was
about getting
gonna
a
watch ahead,
Shudder
but-
subscription because then we could just get them for a month, and then I think the rest of them are all on Shudder, and it's like $7 a month or something.
Remember when
So
I
we might
typoed
just spend a month and watch
that? Yeah.
all these, but
Remember when I typoed the Shutter app and it was Suffer? Like, yeah, that's a much better
Suffer!
Suffer.
But yeah, that dude's just got to be like collecting the supernatural shit, and maybe he's just part of his own like occult. He just wants to be involved in the supernatural, and
Maybe.
that's just the end result.
Yeah.
I mean, he was able to, or something was able to tear off that one dude's fucking head, so like something's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very interesting setup. And then if we go into so I didn't really know like succubus was like a thing.
Need to play more games.
Because it was because I realized in reading about a succubus, they feed on semen, and apparently one that is a victim of a succubus or the male part of a succubus is an incubus.
Yeah. And then you remembered
which
the band Incubus.
Changed my thoughts on Incubus all of a sudden. So there was that. But this whole skit, or sketch, or not sketch, scene, whatever. It reminded me of this Louis C.K. bit where he's talking about just a bunch of dudes who are trying to get laid, or like the most dangerous group of men, out in public. He's like, it's all a bunch of them, like, yeah, we're gonna get pussy. And he's like, as if there's just gonna be some big old vagina somewhere that they all just like go into, and they're like, oh, it's here, yeah, man,
We found it.
He's like, if it all goes wrong at the end of the night, they just find some homeless dude and start beating the shit out of him. He's like, there's just cum coming out of their eyes, like,
that is roughly what it's like going out as a single male in your mid to late 20s.
So this is just exactly what that reminded me of watching this sketch. Was they're all going out and like, fucking video that ass, walking down the sidewalk. It's like, she can hear
Yeah.
you.
Honestly, the most shocking thing out of that was that she didn't turn around and go, Ella,
It's like, let's cross the street backwards.
let's cross the mortal coil. And they jump into traffic.
Exactly. So, thoughts on this one? Like, any immediate thoughts? I mean, do you have conversation points regarding this one?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I kind of just really like the concept of a dude who's like, cool, I'm like the most meek, feeble out of us all, but I'm going to be the one who gets the glasses.
Right.
Like, he has the lowest % chance of getting laid that night, and he's the one who gets to record. So I'm just like, the decision making there was just the worst idea ever. Because at best, he gets to have sex, and at worst, he's just going to be in the cuck chair watching his friends have sex because somebody has to record.
Well, the idea that that's just the plan that night, too, is so interesting. It's like, well, how many girls are you going to bring back that are just okay with your friend sitting in the corner?
All of them.
Yeah?
All of them.
Okay.
That's Mike. He likes to watch.
Is that cool with you? No.
No.
Okay, cool. Let's proceed.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, what?
To be fair, no wasn't going to be an answer until you passed out, I guess. I'm glad that's where they drew the line.
I'm glad that's where the scene stopped, yeah.
Yeah. But then,
Yeah.
So it's fine and all. We pick up the girl. I love this girl, by the way. She's got the big old anime eyes. She's just pale as all shit.
Yeah.
Just got the big wavy hair. That's the girl I would have picked up at the bar.
Okay.
Regardless of whether or not she was going to rip my cock and balls off later.
Oh, I forgot I had a bad summary on just this sketch alone.
Sure.
That I didn't write down. I don't want you to spit or anything. I don't think it's that funny. That's a little conceited to think, but I just thought like first iteration for Avatar goes wrong. Just because she had that big fucking thing on her face, and They did a really good job of making her just look disturbing as shit.
Yeah.
Because when they start taking her pants off and it goes down to her feet, and she's
the
got like
scales and everything, yeah. Well, what's weird too is like if you look at her, like you can see like
the lines there the whole
like
time.
she is very much still
Yeah.
her. But yeah, no, I really love this one because number one, I love that girl. So we got to see her be naked, and that's always fun.
Sure.
The creepiness factor is definitely there, and you can see that like switch flip for her as far as when she was just like this timid scare thing to when she's like horn, and then starts trying to fuck the one dude and jerk off the other dude.
Yeah.
But it all just kicks up so much. They run back in. They're like, oh, fuck, we got to go, beat her up or whatever. Patrick, I think, is the guy who got
going in and out of that bathroom like 3 times.
Patrick grabs the curtain rod or the shower rod, and he's like ready to walk out. And then we just see her silhouette with like her body all like contorted. I was like shadow play, like just making something look spooky and weird with just like that hard shadow is like such a satisfying, scary thing to see in anything. Yeah. And it worked out so well in this. And they lingered so long on it that you're like, ah!
What are you doing? He's over there trying to wake Lisa up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Patrick makes the failed strength check to hit her. She just stops it immediately and then mounts him.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
I love the little whimper out of the other dude. Like when she throws the cock and balls aside and he's like, ah!
It's the worst. I mean, like, you got to think, out of all fates that you could experience, right? Like having your dick and balls, your meat and 2 veg.
Yeah.
Your golden tallywhacker. I'm trying to think of all the gold member lines. But
Baines and the 2 francs, if we quote the Mary movie. Something about Mary. There we go.
But, just like not being completely dead and then just like those being fisted off of you and torn off, like that's a rough
just
death.
Tossed aside.
Yeah. And one complete package seemingly too.
Yeah. Impressive, really.
Yeah, no, good for her.
On
She's
her
done
end.
this before. She's surgical like precision. But yeah, no, it just one thing I got to say though, so like it's all very scary to hear. Dude starts running, he makes it to the stairwell. I developed this thing in horror movies where like broken bones like just really give me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh, dude, especially when you're in that situation, something's like on your tail and you have something broken and then it's just like, not right now.
But like just even like the breaking itself.
Yeah.
It like I get sweaty. Like it's a real life thing. I think I'm just very scared to break a bone, especially if it's like protruding through the skin. Like I can't do it. I skipped it. I skipped the scene. I had to fast forward to it to where she started giving him head at the bottom of the stairs.
And that's the part you kept rewinding.
Yeah, that's the part I kept rewinding. Yeah. But I can't do it anymore. If I like know somebody's bone's about to break in a movie and I have the control to fast forward, like depending on how gruesome the break is, I'm gonna fast forward through it because it's just the one thing that's you can break your bone in real life.
Yeah,
it's the scariest thing of all to me.
No, it's hard because like the sound and then like just he's sitting there and he's just like. Ah!
Like just
screams looking at
agonizing. It's like, don't look at it. I don't want to see it.
Stop looking at it.
It kills me. But it finishes up super strong. She gives him head. She has a panic attack because he couldn't get hard.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. Would have finished to completion.
The face though, like, cause like when she was not a fucking gargoyle succubus thing. Like she was fine, but once the things on her face, like the fucking, like what is that? Yeah. The fucking split in the middle of her face. That was enough to freak me the fuck out. Where it was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like, the succubus wearing a human skin kind of thing.
Sure, and she just kind of breaks out of the mask.
Yeah.
Cause like that gave me the heebie-jeebies. Like that, if I see her in another thing, she won't be attractive to me anymore. Cause so I'm like, oh. Is your face going to split open?
It's weird. I'm like more turned on by her having the broken open face.
We gotta find you
the dragon feet. Yeah.
Listen to a lot of Incubus, do you?
Oh man. But yeah, we finish up super strong though, because he's just running, crying, runs out to the dudes in the truck, and then just gets picked up.
And the dudes are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. And then the glasses fall off the dude. It's super good.
And
I love this one so much.
And that's a reasonable explanation for like, okay, the tape was found because the glasses fell, right? Like
yeah.
you see,
there's a
still
reason
the
someone would have gotten this footage.
right? Like the footage I don't understand having been found is like the whole nanny cam costume thing where the car gets hit by the train.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think the camera's still gonna be intact? Like, I don't know. Anyway.
That one's a stretch.
Yeah. Anyway. And how do you lose the video? Like when you're talking about the girls that, that killed Sam in the road trip one, right?
Yeah. Well, that one I think. Yeah, because the other girl was even talking about like, did you erase the tape or whatever, and it's like, no.
Obviously, she's like, no.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna go home and flick my bean to that. You
Probably.
kidding me?
So, and maybe that's just the the consequences. You keep evidence around, it ends up in like a storage unit or something, and then
Right.
someone finds it.
Maybe that's part of the thrill. You're like,
Yeah.
well, no one knows now. But
I mean,
I'm long gone.
That's the truest form of found footage, is something that wouldn't have a reason to be found
Literally
outside
be
of
found.
circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's discovered. They've unearthed it in a deep cave
yeah,
while they were filming The Descent.
yeah. So we have the interlude, and then, the second honeymoon, which is, literally Sam and Stephanie, right? Traveling, and so the fortune thing is interesting. So, do you think this was already a fortune, or do you think this was already brought on by her, and the fortune thing's just like a complete
I think it's
circumstantial?
It's just circumstantial,
Yeah.
I think that's why she was as excited about it. Like, she was very sure. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep this.
I'm gonna
one.
keep this one
Yeah.
forever."
Like, she was very cheery
Long
about
after
this.
you're dead.
Yeah. So I think the plan was already in place.
It's odd though that she would make the tape the way she did. Like in the beginning, where she's like, "We're on a road trip and Sam's going to the bathroom,"
Mhm.
and like, if you're gonna look at it later, you're like, I would think there'd be a little something in there for you later, where you're like, he's not dead yet.
You look at the camera like,
and we're always gonna remember this.
Imagine like the serial killer is like self-documenting. It's like, doing the thing or whatever. He closes the door, go outside. You turn over, you're like,
Yeah, you get it.
Oh my gosh, you just little breadcrumbs for yourself, to go back to and be like, I'm hilarious.
I would think, yeah. I mean, like, if we're ever gonna plan a murder, then no. Anyway, so that's super interesting. I just heard a badoop.
Pause.
Yeah.
This is still recording.
Is it that one? Did that one stop?
iPhone storage full.
Oh man. Well.
Oh, we got 30
Oh well.
minutes, or do you wanna?
Wait, we've done 30 minutes on this already?
This has been recording for 29 minutes.
God damn. All right, more than I thought. Well, all right, so we won't have the wide shot on the back half of this video. Oh well.
Fuck a wide shot. Less editing from me.
No, goddamn right. So super interesting. All right. What are your comments? I have a couple things, but I don't want to like jump into the end at the beginning. So
Yeah. This one is probably like my least favorite out of all of these.
okay.
Just because I felt like everything that kind of led up to it was pretty inconsequential outside of like the fortune telling thing.
Sure.
Like, obviously homegirl, the other girl had been like following them somehow, because obviously they've been traveling pretty solid amount of distance over the course of several nights.
Yeah.
So somehow she's following them, and seemingly asked them for a ride one night, which was weird. But I think it was just something to be like, hey, do you remember we're gonna kill this guy later? I see you, and they do all this in front of him, But I do like the kind of setup and the premise to where it's like we get that teaser of like what's happening, and kind of that context and what we're expecting. I've 100% expected this dude to kill her in some way, shape, or form. So I kind of had like the subverted expectation of it being like him killing her over something rather than her,
Over the
being
money.
involved in it, kind of thing.
Like when he finds out the money's gone, and then
Yeah,
he
wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, like that almost seemed like a dark.
Yeah, I knew nothing about this couple, but I knew that was like the deepest cut he could have given her at that moment in time. Like that was good. I was like, that you shouldn't have said that. I don't know anything about your guys' relationship,
But then
like
2
that.
minutes later, they're fucking walking out on the canyon or whatever.
Yeah.
Like everything's okay. So apparently,
And then this is where my gears started turning. It's like, okay, so like if we're meant to kill each other, like this would be the place to do it. You know, like if this is supposed to be like documentation showing like him dying or whatever, like push him.
Yeah.
Like he's already out past where he should be. Like other girl could have been there. Like push him, just record that he's dead or whatever, and then no fault of your own.
Yeah.
It's gone. Because otherwise, how do you get out of this situation when you come back home?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
So-
just come home without.
Yeah. Unless somehow, like, she did all the pre-planning and was telling people, like, oh, yeah, he's moving to, like, another state for, like, a job or whatever, so he won't be coming back, and, you know, like, she, potentially. Or now that he's dead, then,
Maybe they're running off.
yeah,
to
they're doing their own thing. But
Bonnie
poor
and
planning.
Bonnie
I would have,
situation.
I think, arranged this murder a little bit smoother,
Yeah.
had I the opportunity, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very understandable death. Like, I mean, honestly, there's probably that point where when he's walked out there where she's like, "Are you dead?"
Yeah.
Where she's kind of like, it's more of an anticipatory, like, "Are you dead?"
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe that was like a failed attempt. Like maybe she was supposed to be there and wasn't. You know what I mean?
like when she was like, "You gonna need help to get back in?" She was like, "You gonna need help because I'm not gonna offer a hand."
Or I'm gonna offer my hand, and then as
And
you're
accidentally,
waiting for me,
Yeah.
oh no, I've dropped you.
okay, let go right now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be simultaneous. You let go and grab at the same time, and then you move your hand away.
Yeah. But the only one in this one that really has any like spookiness factor is just with the first recording where the girl picks it up in the middle of the night and we see the guy and we're like, okay, this is kind of weird. And then we see the girl and then you're like, oh shit, third party.
Somebody's in.
That was really the only thing that's kind of spooky because you always have that fear in the back of your head that somebody's broken into your house and is jerking off in your ear kind of thing. We've all been there. So just to see like a recording of this, it is the only thing that was really in like this story that was
The knife on
kind
her
of
and
scary.
everything. Yeah, like she rubbing the knife on her
butt,
the leg and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
like that.
yeah. She didn't like that. She pulled the
Yeah,
sheets up.
she did not like that. Not the knife play.
Which, yeah, okay. So interesting that she was so like, no, don't record this.
Yeah.
When he's trying to have sex with her, then she's in a brawl making out with her after the murder.
And I think it's
So-
because she knew what was coming, right?
Mm.
She knew that she was going to be leaving this dude, so she's like, I'm not going to put out. We're sleeping in separate beds. Like it's all
Right.
part of the plan.
The only thing I don't understand is how'd the girl get in that night? Because she put the fucking latch on the door.
Yeah.
She even videotapes that part where she's like,
Yeah, but those aren't hard to get out.
no.
So yeah, the latch, or what kind of latch was it? Was it the chain latch, or was it just like the fold over latch?
Fold over.
So the fold over one, all you have to do is get something skinny enough through the door frame, and you can push that out, like directly out, and it comes off. So as long as she left the handle unlocked, she could have fit the switchblade or something through the door, and it would have unlatched it. Yeah.
I love that she rubbed his toothbrush in the toilet. And then
Yeah, like the most
just show him
immediately
deliberately brushing his
after is
teeth.
like the most spiteful, and then immediate, like we get to see why it's funny kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that. There was just that
Oblivious,
tiny little
just-
bit of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, more or less on what you were saying, but like, why wait so goddamn long? Why go through like 2 days of a trip, and then have this guy killed? Like,
It's murder edging.
yeah, I mean, well, that's what I was saying. Is it like foreplay to the main event? Like they just really wanted, like they really taken the joy
Yeah.
in this. Like, was she supposed to take the money out the previous night? so that, you know, he'd ask the question, she could be even like angrier at him. Like, yeah, I took the
Little do you know.
$100. Yeah. Little do you know.
I'll be taking more than $100 shortly.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, it did seem odd that they waited that long on that.
Yeah.
So. What was up with that the mask that the girl wore that killed? I don't know. It was weird.
I'm actually blanking on what the mask looks like.
It was just like this. It was like clearish almost, you know, because you see the first tape and you kind of see a face, but it's like shiny,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then she like takes the mask off as she's like washing the blood off her hands and everything, and then all of a sudden they're making out in the mirror. But she had.
I remember them making out.
Yeah. Sure.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Some of the best girl-on-girl making out in this movie.
The only, some would say.
Yeah.
But they're uneducated. So, Tuesday the 17th, they called. Interesting. These are the 4 kids. They go up to the lake.
Glitch Lake.
The enemy known as the villain, the character known as the Glitch, identified as such in the end credits. Thoughts on this one?
I like this one just for the fact that there was a lot of like post-production effects kind of being there. So there's a little bit less of the practical effects that we'd seen so far.
Yeah.
So I like that we had something that was a little bit more like post-processing. You know, it was kind of not old editing, but you know, you have to edit the video kind of thing. So I like that the effects of, you know, the glitch thing being, you know, visible to the people.
Camera.
But, you know, for us, they're just the, you know.
So are we sure it was visible to the people, per se? Because, like, I remember when she was videoing, she's like, you know, she's looking, she's like, oh, why can't I film you?
Yeah.
You know, so, like, is it just, like, whatever this guy is, you know, he kind of just has that effect on the technology. And, like, I guess they see him, like, in real life or whatever. But.
Yeah, so he'd be, like, an actual entity, like visible entity kind of thing to them,
right?
Because you remember at the end of this one when she gets killed, she starts to turn into like a glitch. Yeah, so that's why she starts, you know, freaking out and shit. And then oddly enough too, with the guy who got his throat slit, when he was kind of walking and stumbling around doing his thing, we had that similar but like lesser level of like screen banding and distortion when he was walking around too. So I think his victims kind of, you know, get glitched.
That's how he can be in 2 places at once and all that kind of shit.
It might be.
So really, yeah, there was no hope when she went back into the woods.
I don't think so. I don't think there was any chance that she could have won that situation.
So like you're killing a version of him
Yeah.
here and a version of him there, but you know, there's probably
how many people has he killed?
There's
you know?
probably like 30 versions of this guy out here.
That's at least my interpretation of it.
And I want a fucking explanation on how that is. Like, even if it's, you know, the dopey explanation of like, well, you see, you know, like
zombie spirits.
Right. Because if he's the glitch, I mean, does this have to do with the Matrix?
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
But I want to say, like, so this one was kind of, you know, on the more from the story perspective, like not as interesting to me.
Yeah.
I like just, you know, kind of once we got to, I guess, like some of the action stuff there. But I mean, the buildup is just, hey, we're hot young teenagers going to the lake to fuck and smoke weed. You know, it's like, I guess it has that generic kind of horror startup kind of thing there. But the one thing that was like incredibly effective was, you know, the dude's filmer or whatever, and he's talking to the main girl, and she just looks over and she's like, you're all gonna fucking die out here.
Yeah.
And then just like
The
keeps
tone
on trucking
change.
along.
Yeah.
I was like, that is like the single spookiest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, just because if you were ever out with like a group of friends and like you got isolated with somebody and then someone said that, like, you are no longer going to have a fun time on that trip, even if nothing happens. Like, you are just gonna be like, so listen, fucking Jamie said that we're all gonna fucking die out here. The fuck is that about? Jamie's like, I didn't say that.
Didn't say it.
Also, there's an Indian burial ground here.
Yeah. I think it's stuff like that where it's stuff like that and stuff like the last skit of it where they all go to that house. It's the exact reason I drive.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't like to be in like the big group. It's like if everyone else decides they're doing something stupid, I would like to leave. I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Before my car gets poltergeisted. So I don't know. So that's yeah, and for this to be, about the hot teenagers at the lake type of plot.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like I'm just trying to see boobs here, but like
some eye candy.
That's what that plot requires.
Yeah.
Is like the consequence of like young teenagers.
Just like
are
those
out
boys,
here
we're just out here hoping to see a titty.
Right. I don't know. That just seems. Anyway.
Yeah. I will say the first kill with the blonde chick was pretty satisfying.
Yeah, no, it was,
like
the cool
throwing knife through the back of the head.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think we're about good on this one, right?
Sure.
The sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger.
Skype and aliens. I gave all these my own titles so I could remember them easier.
Yeah. All right, so I'll start this one and just say, if there's anything more irritating, it's the talking over like internet chat type of scene. That like there's nothing more fucking irritating to me than that.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but like on a screen, watching another screen, it's just like the most irritating fucking thing.
We're at 8 layers of communication here.
And then, like, they do it well with the whole effects, with the, everything's pixelating the whole time,
yeah.
Buffering, whatever the fuck you want to say. So it is like a good dynamic there, I guess. But god damn, does it just irritate the shit out of me?
Yeah.
And like it also because like so many of them are pretty anticlimactic, where she's just like. He's like, yeah, I think there's something in the hallway.
Yeah, it's just slightly spooky until the last 5 minutes. And it's like, there was actually something the whole time, and we're all dead. Or I, burned the right paper that lets us live. Just something stupid, inconsequential.
Yeah. We're diving into this one hardcore, though.
All right.
So, what the fuck... What the fuck?
Aliens.
Yeah. First of all. So.
Oh, also tits.
Tits. So this is like a long hustle by this James guy, apparently. On not just one gal, but at least one more.
Yeah. I think he picked up that girl, towards the tail end of our main girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think he knew that OG was getting a little worn out. I mean, shit. This is the second accident that he had to put her through.
Right.
She's yeah.
All right, so we gotta get to the bottom of this thing.
Yeah.
Because
let's go.
So what happens is these kids live in her apartment. Right? So they're aliens, apparently.
The kids are aliens. They're all in the same apartment complex. She thinks
yes,
he's in Michigan.
That I know.
They're all in the same apartment complex, but the 2 kids are aliens.
Right. What power is it that they have that makes everything flash and she's unconscious?
Alien powers.
We're just leaving that there, like that's
like it's like to us it's supernatural because that's the obvious category, but for an alien you can throw everything into an alien power category because maybe aliens can control things with their mind, and then that's like the psychic clairvoyant stuff that we were talking about in The Shining. It's like still under the supernatural category, so maybe it's still kind of makes sense, but it's just less spiritual and more energy.
So if they're seen by Emily, then
They're physical aliens with supernatural abilities.
If they're seen by
and
Emily,
presences.
they knock her out.
Who is that other kid? The first kid that slammed the door? Because that wasn't either of the two kids.
Well, is it just so blurry that
Maybe it was.
you just can't tell?
I don't know. That other kid seemed a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. legit.
child.
Maybe they're growing.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't know.
What's the life cycle on these goddamn things?
Yeah, no. Yeah, she's got to churn them out. She's having a kid every 8 weeks.
Well, so yeah, this is killing me. So for whatever reason, these kids are living in an apartment, but they're not kids; they're aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they interact with James. What is James getting out of this?
So
Do aliens have money now? Are they like the Saudis?
So
They're just coming in over the top rope and outbidding anybody for TV contracts and surrogate mothers.
So it was mentioned when she was talking about like them being kids or whatever. It was like him and his dad were on like an army base or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like Area 51 stuff, and they were both like exposed, or him and his dad were exposed to some level of like alien interaction, and that's why there's like this relationship for it. Because there was an accident when she was 12, so maybe that was like the first time that they extracted a kid out of her.
Sure.
As soon as maybe she started being a girl in period blood. And then...
period blood? Did you make period blood in a verb?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But then, I guess that just kind of leads to the question of like, so what does that mean as far as, the incubation period? Like, how long does it take to grow one of these aliens?
Right.
Or do you just grow them randomly? Because obviously, like the thing
Out
in
of
her
your back.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the easier access to get to the womb.
Okay. But that was like ribs.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've never looked at a body before. I don't know how bones work. But maybe, so it's like either there's like a really long like period to where like you have to get him, or it's like because she had the tracker in her arm, and that seemed recent.
All right, but who's tracking?
The aliens.
The aliens are tracking her.
The aliens.
Not the government?
No.
If they're on the army base, wouldn't you think that the government is like,
here's
hey,
the thing.
grow the alien. We want her to grow the aliens. James is going to medical school.
If the government wanted to use this girl as an incubator, they would put her in a locked room and chain her up and IV feed her fluids and then just drag babies out of her 24/7. If the aliens wanted some babies out of her, they would want to not be obvious in any way, shape, or form and somehow try to naturally assimilate this interaction into her life.
So, all right. So is it I don't. But like, what's James getting out of this?
I don't know. I don't know why James is there, except for maybe being able to know how to get the baby out.
Is he like being threatened by them?
Is he an alien?
Is James an alien?
Maybe James is an alien. Maybe it's his baby. Because he said, oh, wait, no. Yeah, because he made a comment to one of them. He was like, are you sure this thing is like half human or like partially human or whatever? So it is a hybrid because it's using her egg and the genome and the deoxyribonucleic acid. It's DNA. I just wanted to sound cool for a minute.
Okay.
So maybe, it's some of his alien splusion there, and she's a human, and their powers combined, they make this alien fetus thing.
Yeah.
Or because, he was at the base, maybe his dad adopted James as an alien thing that looked like a human and raised him human, and then the aliens are the true aliens, and I'm like, bro, you gotta fuck that. Potentially.
Potentially. There's just so many.
This is one that could have been a
story.
whole movie. Like, there's enough to where it's like we need some backstory, some mid-story, and some better conclusion.
Yeah. I need to know what James is getting out of it, what the aliens are doing. Are they just living? in this girl's apartment? Like, what are the aliens?
I think they
goal?
live in the apartment next door.
What is the goal of these aliens? You know, because I mean, most aliens have
James,
an agenda.
escaped the army base with the aliens, and then the aliens are like, "We will ensure your future if you help us impregnate some big-titted women." And James is like, "I love impregnating big-titted women. It's one of my favorite things to do."
I mean, isn't that what we all love? Man, I feel like we've talked and we're nowhere.
There's not enough. There's
not enough. I just feel like this has got to be some sort of government program. You know what I mean? Like a doctor looking at her like, what are you trying to pull a thing out of your arm for? And
then leave that in. I just put that in there. Would you leave it?
And then the doctor would definitely be like, oh, you're right. There is something in there.
Yeah.
The doctor that isn't James, right?
Leave it. Don't mess. I'll be there in a week. I'm in Michigan.
So then, but after she breaks her arm,
he sneezes and she hears it on her side. Bless you. Thank you. Looks at the camera. Closes the laptop lid. All right, we're done here. We gotta nuke the whole planet.
Like, killer.
We're done here. Nuke it.
Nuke the building. I'll be out in 5.
It's rough.
I think it's got to be government stuff because she has a doctor she's going and seeing, right?
Yeah.
That's not him. That has come highly recommended from the university. Right?
The university.
Right. Or from his colleagues, excuse me. Yeah. So that doctor's got to be on the up and up, right? Otherwise she's looking at her arm going like, well, there is a fucking thing in here. I see why you were trying to dig it. I mean, it is a little psychotic.
Yeah. It also was in the wrong spot. Like, why would you dig next to the thing? Dumb bitch.
And like that is at that point where you're like, you still don't know about James, and so when she shows the fucking hole in her arm, and he's like, Emily, oh my god.
Yeah, but also just like
he's like, put a band-aid.
Yeah, there's, but like hand in hand with that, like there's a level of like not concern in his voice whatsoever. No. He's just like, Emily, I mean, like you have a hole in your arm, you really shouldn't be doing that. And like he's like rubbing his temples. He's like, I really don't think you should be doing anything like that. Can you go put a Band-Aid on that, please?
You need to put some alcohol or some iodine on that.
Yeah. What does iodine do?
I don't know what iodine is. I don't know. So I don't know. We're going to move past this one because there's not enough information. But
yeah. What I will say is this is the bravest bitch. When the supernatural shit has happened inside of her house.
Just stupid.
Both. So when she's like, I'm going to close my eyes because I'm going to get scared, but you tell me if you see anything. I was like, you are a fucking machine.
She just wants to deal with this problem.
Like, I would lock myself in my closet and cry all night. But she's like, nope, we're going to go explore the house and see the spooky shit. But James, could you just describe it to me?
Yeah.
And then the flash photography. Like, that's like horror movie video game bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. That girl's brave or dumb and dumb.
I think inside every brave person is just a little bit of dumb.
Sure.
Yeah.
Self-preservation, I think, is really strong in me personally.
Yeah.
So
which happens to be unsynonymous.
Yeah.
With brave.
100%.
Yeah. That's fine. All right. So then back in the house. Excuse me. Gary's the only one left. He gets 8.
Naturally.
By the zombie. And so then we go into our last skit called 10/31/98.
Mm-hmm. Exorcist house.
Yeah. Where these guys go to the wrong house for a party. Apparently their wives were going to join them later. So they're alone. They go up to the attic. They find a fucking exorcist party because apparently this girl was a witch. Apparently they extracted the wrong, people.
Yeah.
They go save the girl and she's not a people. She's a witch.
She's a witch. Is she a good witch or a bad witch?
Yeah.
She's a sandwich. Now get in the kitchen.
Anyway, thoughts on this one? What do you think?
So I already know you don't like this one based off a comment you made earlier. I think you said this one was $1 for you.
But to be fair, you said 2 of these were your least favorite, so
That's fair.
you said it was your least favorite on 2 different ones.
They're all my least favorite. I really love this one.
Okay.
So do you want me to tell you why I love them?
I mean, we got these microphones and these cameras. We might as well.
Interesting. I'm going to stay quiet now. No. So I love this one because the setup doesn't matter. We show up at this house that clearly no one should have gone into. We're rummaging around for it for no fucking reason. It's a really, like, there's 5 floors to it or something.
Again, this is why I drive myself places.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, they should have known that, like, they were in the wrong house. This wasn't the place to be. Something. Like, red flags galore. What I absolutely love about this movie is the shotgun blast presentation of every scary movie thing in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like the build up is fine. You show up. I got the nanny cam because we need an excuse to record this. Show up to the party. We rummage
Weakest
around.
excuse, honestly,
Yeah,
in
honestly,
the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to work.
No.
You know. Anyway.
Yeah. It's just stupid. But so they show up, they're like, oh, no one's here. So then they wander around this house, and then like, this is weird. And they could just continue to wander around. Nobody's there. All the lights are on. It's fucking weird. They go upstairs. They find the spooky exorcism kind of thing, and it's like, oh, well, that's kind of odd. Maybe this is just like a really elaborate haunted house kind of thing. Because what I didn't even like catch until the most recent time I watched it was one of the dudes was like screaming, yelling, and came running out of the rooms. He was like, "Oh my god, I just saw like hands coming out of the wall. This is like such a creepy haunted house."
Yeah.
So it's like the hands that we saw like reaching out through the walls and shit later on.
Yeah.
After shit hit the fan, like that dude just saw that. But because he wasn't ready for the spookiness, like he wasn't taking any of it seriously,
Yeah.
he's just like, oh my god, this is so scary. It's such a good haunted house. And I love that novelty of like, they weren't ready to be scared.
Yeah.
So they downplayed every scary thing that happened to them in this entire
So literally,
thing.
back to that thing you always say, like when we're talking about those sorts of things.
Yes.
Like you believe in it, it gives it power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys were not fucked at all about the spooky shit that was happening. They walk upstairs, there's an
Till the end.
exorcism going on, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Costume
Cast
down!
him down! And like I said, the shotgun blast. Every scary cool thing happens. Dudes just disappearing into shadows.
Yeah.
There's like, psychic people being thrown away and shit. Hands coming out of the walls. Like the coolest effects. I don't know how they did it, but like, man, like that is the coolest looking thing ever. It's just like all these hands reaching out. We get like crows flying from like one room to another.
Yeah.
One of the doors just like slam open and rip off and shit. We run downstairs. The windows start shrinking on the doors.
Yeah.
They run into the next room. Like the furniture is stacked. Vase gets thrown at the dude.
Yeah.
And then we get to the kitchen. The kitchen has all this shit just floating. And dude just walks in. He's like, oh, shit. Like, it's the most non-concerned, not scared, just, like, actually impressed,
Yeah.
like, oh, shit thing ever. And it's like, I love these guys because they're not scared, like, even a little bit, really.
Yeah.
Like, they know they gotta run out of there, but they're like, oh, that's fucking weird, bro. We gotta get out of here. Like, it's just so unbothered.
Yeah.
And then we get like the like ghost fog shit inside the house. Like it's just we got every horror scary movie thing in like just such a short compact window.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much. It was just so exciting.
No.
And this is one that could never be made any longer than it is. You couldn't do anything different to it because nothing matters. You shoved everything into the couple minutes, and it was just several minutes of back-to-back different kinds of panic. Ugh.
All right.
I know that was a long ramble, but man, I love that one so much.
No, that's good. I mean,
Tell me why you hate it, Tyler.
no, I mean, you certainly give me some reasons to like it a little more, thinking about it.
All right.
But, I don't know. To me, it was just like every it's part of why like horror movies annoy you sometimes, right? Where you watch something and you just go like, now, why are you gonna do that? You know, like sometimes premises can just be annoying because you just go, well, just don't do that.
Don't do that thing.
Like that's all you have to do. Your life's 100% different if you just don't do that.
Yeah. My knee hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that. You fucking idiot.
But, you know, I mean, that's why, like, you know, if you listen to, like, the Breaking Bad ones we've done, you know, it's like, I'm, like, obsessed with the crossroads moments, you know, which probably ultimately makes me just, like, a pussy in life, you know, just as an overarching theme, right? Because I'm obsessed with crossroads moments, and it's like...
Tune in next time for why Tyler's a pussy.
Because, like, this could be really good if you do this in your life, but, like, also something bad might happen, so don't do anything.
You could also die, so... Could go either way.
You know, so like to me, like this just exacted every fucking concept of like why you just stay home like the nanny cam guy's friend who's watching TV. Hey, the party could be fun or not. Yeah. And he's just watching. That's me, you know? And maybe I got a boring life, but I'm not at a fucking
You're not dead.
House. And they fucking follow, like Alice in Wonderland, follow a fucking secret doorway in a bathroom to go upstairs to a fucking exorcism. And they think it's this fucking party. And it's just, I don't know. It's just like everything irritated me about it. And I'm not gonna lie, it was like kind of long. You know what I mean? Because we see the fucking hot dog scene and they're flipping hot dogs with a styrofoam plate. You know,
it's all perfectly normal things. This is fine.
And I don't know. It just really, all those things kind of irritated me. Whereas, like, you know, you go to some other stuff. I know I use Halloween for like every fucking example, but like it's just like one of the best. You know what I mean? Like these babysitters didn't ask to get, you know, terrorized by a fucking, you know, guy with a knife. You know, it just happened.
Yeah.
So. You know, like it's just horror to me is more the thing you don't have the choice in. Whereas, like, obviously, circumstantial things happen to different people in the movie, but they don't know they're in a horror movie. So when they go fuck, you know, or say I'll be right back, they don't know there's something wrong. They just fuck, or they just say they'll be right back, and something happens to them. It's
I'm gonna get naked and take a shower. What's going on?
Yeah. So you know. Just like everything irritated me about that. But no, what you're saying of like every spooky thing is shocking about. No, that's cool. It gives me a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's cool.
The hype of that whole sequence like just erased probably everything. And that's why I felt like it was such a good thing to like end on, because you got just such a climactic kind of thing of just everything all at once.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of came to it and was so good.
One thing on here is one note before I do that. I was just like, so they go and they had to bust out of that. Like, first of all, what are the chances this house has like a classic, like old fashioned storm cellar?
Yeah.
But they go and they're like, arguably, this is a harder action to do than like kicking down a fucking door.
Yeah. And
if you know the supernatural powers are closing a door and the doorknobs are smoking or whatever, but for whatever reason it doesn't.
No, that doorknob disappeared.
Well, sure. And for whatever reason it doesn't have any power over the storm cellar door, which is odd. But like, let's kick a fucking door down, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. At least try it. You know, it seems like an easier exit. But then you find out. So why did it let him out of the storm cellar if it was just? But then you find out it's her, the witch, right?
It's the Lion, the Witch, and the wardrobe.
Exactly.
Yes.
You find out the witch is the one that like stops them on the tracks and all that kind of shit, right?
Yeah. That was super satisfying.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Because I would.
It also gives you a little panic because like, I don't care who you are. I think the feeling of trapped just can like frighten any human being.
Yeah, trapped.
So you
the
get
band
uneasy.
Is just awful.
Yeah. I think you can get uneasy if all the car doors lock and the fucking train's coming.
Yeah.
You're like, what am I going to do about this?
They did a one-shot alternate ending where they did.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Okay,
yeah. The Wikipedia thing, it says there was a joke ending. shot in one take about, the doors just unlock and the guys get up before the train smashes the car. And the boys walk away, talk about how much fun they had, what a crazy night it was. Meanwhile, the train hits the car and explodes behind them. As if they're not all going to be like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do about the car? Just, nah, that was pretty fun, man.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Worth it. Well, I'll pitch in and get you a new car.
Yeah. No, I love the novelty of that, though, is where it's just like, well, at least it was cool, though. It's like we lost everything, but we made it.
Yeah, it's a crazy story we got. But then, the alternative is just they're dead.
Well,
I just
to be fair, it
that,
was recorded, thankfully, on the nanny cam, so.
Which, how are you recovering that? I don't know.
The junker probably.
Yeah.
He was crushing the car. This is VHS tape.
Oh, the tape. I mean, it's got a little chip in it, but we should be able to do something with this.
Yeah.
So just my one question at the end. Is this a lesson against filming without consent?
Yes, honestly.
Because
almost everyone wanted to film
dies.
fucking. Yeah. Right? Almost everyone wanted to film fucking, and then nobody wanted anybody to know that they were filming.
Yeah.
So consent is everything, people.
Consent is everything. Before it's time, speaking out about the Me Too movement.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, no, but this was sweet.
You want to watch the other 6 of them, you think?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, no, I'll watch them.
We'll see you guys next week.
I mean,
we talk about all these VHSs.
I mean, we could watch them all and just do short ones, and they could be short. We don't have to spend forever.
Yeah, this was pretty
on it,
in-depth.
this one.
But it's because this one's the best. This one really is. I love this one, and probably just because it is the first. But I love this one. The other ones have some pretty cool ones too.
That is a typical theme. Just you watch the first of anything, and even if some sequels can arguably be better, a lot of people would say Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1, but I just don't feel that way. I have the most feeling with Godfather.
So the one thing I will make comment on is the only thing that kind of gets lost on me with all the other ones is that inherently this it's called VHS.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the other ones from this point onwards, except for 84, are going to be more modern recorded media. So it's nothing's on a VHS tape. I think there's maybe one in each one that's actually old school and, looks like it was on a VHS tape. But the rest are at least recorded with a phone or recorded with something else. And I mean, even this one, we screen grabbed a Mac computer, for the Skype one. But if we're called VHS, it's it's more so the
94 and 99 also. So, or 94 and
is it 94 and 99? Okay.
Well, no, there is one that said 84 as well.
There's a lot of these fucking movies.
There's a lot
dude.
because
I only saw the first 3.
Remember off the
1,
top
2,
of my
and
head
viral.
There's 2 in viral. And 84, 94, 99, I think is what it was. So
we gotta get that Shutter subscription, man. We might go through them.
Yeah, maybe we'll just kind of slowly throw them out, even though it's not October anymore. Yeah. Just throw one out a month or something. Or I mean, it doesn't even have to be. It won't be planned. It won't be regular.
It'll be oh look, a VHS one.
When we feel like it, maybe we'll just throw one out in midweek. It doesn't even have to be an episode. Or maybe we'll just save them for if we don't have a recording that week, and we're just well, here's one of the VHS ones.
There you go, filler.
So, all right. Well, that was fun. So thanks for being here, watching, listening, whatever. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your stuff. Contact us on our email at consecrationshotline, yahoo.com. Questions, concerns, comments.
Definitely concerns.
Requests, yeah, anything like that. Twitter, Instagram, the deal. Hit us up on there. We're posting our clips and shit like that. And thanks for being here. And goodbye.